Okay. Hello, everybody. For those who still don't know me, it's Kholi, Ahmed Al Kholi from Egypt. Well, I live here in South America, in Ecuador. I've been living here in Ecuador for more than 9 years, and I'm the owner of Geneva Academy Language Center. Actually, today we're going to speak English. Normally, we make live videos on Fridays in Arabic. We teach English in Arabic, but today it's just in English. So also we have a guest today, Patrick Phillips. So Patrick, hi there. How are you today?
Good. English all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So uh, just until students start getting in, they're starting getting in. So could you please introduce yourself
Yeah,
briefly?
I'm Patrick
And
Phillips.
don't forget to speak a little bit slower
Yeah.
for those who are still studying us for beginners.
Yeah, I'm a language teacher here at Geneva Academy here in Ecuador in South America. I've been working with Ahmed for about 5 or 6 years. And uh as teachers, we're very focused on the newest teaching methodologies and the qualifications. What qualifications do you have?
Well, I have TKT and I got the CELTA certificate in Saudi Arabia from the British Council. And right now we are doing the master's degree in linguistics. So it's called uh, Learning English as a Second Language, TESOL. Okay, so it's a little bit tough, but we are doing it. We're
Yeah. I
so
think I can really relate to you in a lot of ways because we've had similar experiences. I also did the CELTA here in Ecuador in 2011. And for me, it was challenging because I had had experience teaching in Peru for several years, but then not with a lot of methodology. And then I started doing the CELTA, and it's like, wait, no, I've been teaching this way, and now you say I have to teach another way. But no, it is good because students learn through mistakes,
yeah.
and as teachers using the communicative methodology, we try to elicit from the students. It's all about eliciting.
Exactly, Patrick. Patrick, you've mentioned a very important point. Actually, it's vital here because it's not really obvious in South America, but it's really clear and obvious in Egypt and the Middle East, which is making mistakes. In Egypt or in the Middle East in general, making mistakes is literally a crime. Like you cannot make a mistake, and otherwise people are going to underestimate you, are going to make fun of you, and of course that gives you trauma, that gives you fear of speaking and fear of learning in general. So this this is very important, Patrick, mentioning that, like making mistakes. Like for example, right now, if I were afraid of talking in front of you, if I were afraid of making mistakes, I wouldn't be here in front of you right now because I'm still making mistakes and I don't care as long as you understand me, as long as we communicate together. So it's not about how well you speak English, it's not about the perfect you speak English, it's about how you communicate. So Americans, they don't really care how many mistakes you make, they only care whether they understood or not. So this is very important,
Yeah,
so just don't care.
we focus on meaning. And the United States is very multicultural, and it's very common to hear English spoken with all different kinds of levels with foreign people. The United States is a melting pot, but we don't care because we focus on meaning. But going back to like what you were saying earlier, when a baby is learning English, they are with their mother 18 hours a day, and
Exactly.
it happens in stages, and each stage precipitates the next stage. And of course, as teachers in the classroom, we are going to be correcting mistakes, but in a way that facilitates learning. And that's something we learned too at the CELTA,
Uh,
how to teach the target language. The problem here in South America, and probably in the Middle East as well, is that the high schools, well, I can speak from my own experience working in the school
Sorry, continue.
here in Ecuador, is that the teacher will teach at a advanced of a level. So students, they never really learn the basics. I don't know how it is in your country.
Like what? Give me examples.
Well, like the Ministry of Education here in Ecuador will send textbooks to the high schools, but it's all divided up in terms of the age, not in terms of the level. So you might find 16-year-olds that, according to the textbooks, they're supposed to be doing the past perfect, third conditionals, but it's if they can't form sentences in the present simple, it's just going over their head. So then they can have to come here to learn the basics.
Exactly, Patrick. Totally agree with you. And here also we have some other friends. And please, guys, we're just making this live. If you have any question, please just don't hesitate to write it down, jot it down, but in English, because we're just doing this episode in English. So if you have any question, please don't hesitate to do it, to jot it down, and we're gonna be answering. Okay, so Patrick, let me ask you. So, what are your teaching qualifications?
Well, like you, I have the CELTA certificate from 2011, but also then doing this master's degree together, it's taking things to a whole nother level theoretically and learning about how children develop bilinguality, and there's a lot of things that we can apply to the classroom in terms of second language acquisition. But are good teachers born, or are good teachers made? I think that if somebody could be,
That's a really interesting question, and I
yeah,
think that that question, like, uh, like we're asked in the master's degree as well by Scott, our teacher. So could you answer this?
yeah, there's teachers that you notice they have a rapport with the students and maybe a lot of natural ability, but they're only going to be able to go so far without the training. Mhm. So, like, we teach according to the levels of the European Common Reference, which is also how the Cambridge exams are structured. So there's grammatical concepts as well as abilities that correspond with each level. So a good teacher is going to have to know how to differentiate between, okay, things on syllabus, work with mixed ability classes.
Okay.
So it's always a dynamic.
So we should say hi to Sarita, Hajar, mashallah, Leila, Zainab, Asya,
Asya.
everybody on YouTube, guys. So please feel free to ask any questions when it comes to teaching and learning English. So just let me know, please. So Hagar says, practice English daily is very important for foreign languages. What do you think, Patrick?
Yes, that's essential if you're learning any foreign language. Practicing daily is paramount.
Exactly. While doing the master's degree these days, they always say that the word exposure to the language. This is very important. I always frequently hear this word from my teachers, that the most important thing, like practice makes perfect. So the word exposure to the language. I really like this word exposure, like when you exposure to the sun, you get the best out of the sun. Yeah, so is that true? So you exposure to the language, that means you watch YouTube videos. Like if you like if you like movies, watch movies in English. If you like listening to music, watch the music in English. Even if you read Quran, you can just translate some parts of the Quran. So try to like try to practice, try to be with the English all the time. So this is very important, Hagar. Thank you.
And I bet there are people watching today who are probably also English teachers in the Middle East, and they can probably relate to what we're saying.
Okay, okay. And Zainab here says, I have master's degree in dedicated foreign languages. Okay, and I'm preparing myself to participate in the PhD context. Any tips or ways which can help?
Sorry, I didn't catch one of those words in
Di-
didactics.
okay, okay.
Didactics. Is that like a pedagogical methodologies?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So just my piece of advice to you, Zainab, is to read a lot. It's all based on reading. Read, read, read. This is very important. So what do you think, Patrick?
Yeah, I had a literature teacher in high school that said it doesn't matter what you read, just so long as you read. In other words, if you read what you're interested in, you're going to be motivated to read. But also, when you're doing this kind of high level postgraduate work, you have to be organized because, like, it's very like I think about it, like what we're doing, having to go over hundreds and hundreds of pages and write summaries. So you have to be organized with your time. But I'm a lifelong student. I have a lot of different interests, and it's the passion that drives me, and it's the passion that keeps me going, and the intellectual curiosity.
Lovely.
But going back to you, Ahmed, I wanted to ask you, how did you get into teaching? What drew you to teaching initially? I know you graduated from Egypt with a degree in law.
Exactly.
You traveled a fair bit, but how did you get into English and then later into teaching it?
Well, as most of the Egyptians, we really like English, the English language. So I started by learning the language itself, and it was so difficult for me at the beginning. I tried to find a suitable way in order to speak English quickly and effortlessly, the way that like Egyptians like. So of course, there's no like such a quick way or a fast way. So like all the ways you should just uh, make effort in order to do it. So after that, it dawned on me that there is a beautiful way which is called, as I mentioned before, guys, in some previous classes, AJ Hogg, effortless English. So that was great for me, and I started listening and listening and listening, and all of a sudden my pronunciation got better and my speaking got better and faster. So that was great. Then uh, it dawned on me also that teaching English helped a lot, like dramatically, my teaching skills, because while teaching English you learn things as well. So this is very important, as we mentioned before, the exposure to the language. And when I traveled to Saudi Arabia, I just wanted to like, let's say, put a base or a foundation for my teaching. So I got the CELTA certificate from the British Council, and that really, at this point, that changed my life dramatically. Since I traveled to South America and I started my journey to learning English, and right now I'm doing my master's degree as well. So here, Patrick, we have lots of different questions, so let's answer quickly. Here, Hagar says, okay, uh, one moment. Yeah, Hagar says, teacher, I have a question, please. As a coach of English language, how can I practice with a native speaker, for example?
Where does Hugger live?
She lives in Libya. She's from Libya. Hi, Hagar.
Libya. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in some places, obviously, it's harder to practice your English. I don't know, how's the English in Egypt? Is it pretty good? I mean, it's very touristy, I would imagine, probably maybe more than here. You see a lot of tourists.
Yeah, no, I think in Libya, like,
Not so
it's
much
not a tourist
tourism.
city. You can practice in front of the mirror. You can practice with us. You can practice. The most important thing that you just practice and try. We learned a technique in the master's degree which is called recast. Recasting is very important. Just listen to the sentence from your teacher and try to repeat it the way he or she pronounces exactly. This is called repetition. So this is very important. It's really worked with me, and I'm sure it will work with you,
Yeah.
Hagar.
So there, just to continue that idea, there are different skills that we work on when we learn a foreign language, like listening, writing, reading, speaking. And depending on your situation, you might be able to do more of one skill. So if you don't have a chance to speak with native speakers or English speakers, whatever you're interested in, do that in English. If you're interested in science videos, watch science videos on YouTube. If you're interested in comedy movies, watch comedy movies on Netflix. So there are things that people can do if you're motivated by curiosity, if you're motivated by enjoyment, you can use that motivation to work on some of the skills. And if you get one skill down really good, then who knows? Then later on, maybe an opportunity will present and you can work on another skill. But today with the internet, there's lots of opportunities to watch videos about anything in English, participate with online with what we're doing with Geneva Academy, Learn English with Holly. And then maybe you don't have a lot of opportunity to actually speak English in a real life context, but you can practice in front of the mirror. You can copy the lines, like do your own dramatization and recasting, like
Exactly,
you said.
exactly.
And then you'll wake up one morning and you'll realize that everything comes together. So you have to use the strategies that are available to you and take advantage of what you can do. And one thing I noticed that I think we're successful at helping our students achieve fluency is we work with reachable goals. We're not teaching English that's too advanced for their level. We might see students spend a few months on the present simple, but then hopefully they learn the present simple good. So also that's something to be aware of. Be patient with yourself, go easy on yourself, and work with reasonable goals. Find out what grammar concepts you need work on and study those. Look up the 12 tenses in English. Find out how you form them, when you use them.
Okay, so let's switch to Facebook questions, Patrick. So, sorry for interruption. Ahmed Yusuf, hi, how are you, my friend? So, Ahmed Yusuf used to work with me in Saudi Arabia. He used to be my manager at KFC restaurant. So, Ahmed, how are you today? Okay, let's take another question from Facebook. It says, give me quick advice or quick things to learn English. So,
Well, yeah, I think I was just saying that. Watch movies on Netflix in English, watch videos if you're, whatever you're interested in, do that in English. Uh, and then also speak out loud. Uh, you can get the scripts for the movies, practice the lines, do whatever you have to do.
and well, can I say something, Patrick? Also, this is vital, guys. This is very important. Actually, it's the most important thing. Like we hear a lot from, especially from the Middle East Egyptians, like how to learn English quickly, how to learn English in just 1 month. The word quickly, fastly, in 1 month. This is a lot in Egypt. There's no a quicker way like to learn English. Try to enjoy the process. This is very, very important. We are not in a marathon. We are not racing each other who's going to learn faster. So just don't focus a lot on the time, like, oh, I learned English in 6 months, in 4 months. Just try to enjoy the process. Don't look at the result. Look at like you are improving, whether you're improving every day or not. So this will be your main focus. Pay attention to every single day improvement. For me, this is just my 2 cents. It's really important to uh, focus on your day. Don't focus, oh, I'm not improving a lot. Just focus on today. Okay, what did I do today? Like at the end of the day, so what I have done, How many words did I learn today? Did I put the words in phrases or not? How many grammar rules did I learn? How many sentences, how many videos did I create? So focus on the result of the day. And of course, small steps will result to a great achievement. This is very important. So that's my 2 cents, Patrick. What do you reckon?
Baby steps.
Exactly, baby steps. Exactly. Okay, so Leila says practice is important to ameliorate English language. What's ameliorate? This I think is French.
Yeah, it looks like French.
It's French. Okay. Well, I want to speak like Patrick and better. It says.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, like everybody makes mistakes. As I mentioned before, just don't try to pressure yourself. Just focus on the results. Like, oh, now I'm happy with what I have done, what I have achieved. So today or this week, just put small steps. Today or this week, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't have to do the 4th thing. Like if you've done 3 things from the list, that's great. Just move on and focus on the steps. Don't focus on the results. This is very important. Okay, so guys, any more questions?
It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. We've done this video just to try on the camera because sorry yesterday for the technical problem, and
It happens.
yeah, it happens. So hopefully it never happens again. So tomorrow, don't forget ما تنسوش بكره ان شاء الله اللايف الحد ان شاء الله الساعه 8 بتوقيت القاهره. طبعا باتريك مش فاهم حاجه دلوقتي. ما تنسوش. ما شاء الله. Can you say انا بحبكم كلكم? I love you all. انا بحبكم كلكم. يلا ما شاء الله. اوكي ما تنسوش بكره ان شاء الله الساعه 8 ده اللايف الاساسي بقى. النهارده كده انا اسف احنا عملنا لايف مفاجئ كده يعني، بس عشان بنجرب الكاميرا وحبيت ان انا اعمله بالانجلش عشان ننشط الذاكره بتاعتكم. بكره ان شاء الله هنعمل اللايف الساعه 8 مساء بتوقيت القاهره. ما تنسوش هو اللايف اصلا كل جمعه، اللايف كل جمعه، لكن احنا نعمل بكره الحد كلايف استثنائي لان الجمعه اللي فاتت اللي ما حضرش والحمد لله ان هو ما حضرش ان الكاميرا وقفت وكان شكلي وحش جدا وكان شكلي بطيخه، لكن انا صلحت الكاميرا ويا رب ما تقف تاني. هنعمل اللايف بكره ان شاء الله، هنعوض درس امس. اللايف بكره هيكون درس جميل جدا عن الفوكابولري، هنتكلم باللغه العربيه، هنحاول نتعلم انجلش. اشكروا معايا باتريك. Thank you Patrick, thanks for being here. Thanks. Okay, we love you. Goodbye.